Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Website Marketing Tech Talk show on Blab. We're here every Friday. I'm your host, Amel, and I'm an SEO and web analytic consultant. I work with small businesses and entrepreneurs, and I help them with their website to get more traffic and more revenue. And with me, I have my co-host, Pam.
Hello, everyone. I'm Pamela Gomez. I'm based in Nassau, Bahamas. My 9 to 5, I am an aspiring aromatherapist. You can find me on Twitter at that handle. Can you see it? Oh, Natural Aroma Therapy. And on Friday nights, I become a tech geek and I join my friends Amel and Robert, and we talk everything from SEO to developing websites, and we answer questions. I'm here to help. Just fire away.
So, as usual, we're here every Friday with our co-host Robert, but he's not here today. So we have two guests with us. We have David, who's from the UK, and we're going to talk about today. The topic is keyword research, and as you know, this show is really the goal of it all is to simplify digital marketing for you, simplify SEO, simplify all the the techie stuff that you need to do to market your website and grow traffic and revenue. So that's the goal of each show every Friday. And we have also Walter with us. And Walter, you're from Canada. From where in Canada?
Right. Yeah, I'm from Newfoundland.
Newfoundland. Okay, cool. So, here is the thing. If you have any questions related to keyword research, please feel free to put that in the chat box, and we're going to answer them throughout the show. If you have a website you want us to review, to give you some advice, some SEO advice, or maybe design advice on anything related to helping you grow your brand, then please feel free to put your domain name on the chat area, and then we are going to take a few minutes to review your site and give you feedbacks. So as I said before, with me, David. So I'm going to give you the floor, David. Go ahead, present yourself, and let's start.
Okay, I'm David Rosen. I seem to be called writing for SEO here. I'm going to have to kill that and put David Rosen up properly at some stage. But anyway, I'm here from the UK, so it's 12:05 at night. So if I fall off to sleep during this blab, please give me a prod.
We hope not.
Excuse me. Yes, my site is writingforseo.org, which kind of says a lot in itself. I've been an SEO for the last 12 or so years. I mainly focus on content strategy. I do some PPC, but I'm not a developer or a techie of any sort. So yes, I'm your content man. And before I was an SEO, I worked as a direct marketing copywriter. So I'm very much into finding ways to sell things online. And yes, that's me in a nutshell.
Thanks so much, David, for joining us today from the UK, even though it's midnight there. We really appreciate that. And thanks, Walter. And thanks, Walter, for being here. And Walter, you can, present yourself, and then we can, start asking a few questions to David, and we can start the conversation again.
Go ahead. Sure. My name is Walter Pedersen. My site is wgpmedia.com. I'm an internet marketing coach and consultant. I sit down with clients and discuss their business needs and figure out what they need. And yeah, that's about it.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you very much for joining us, Walter. So, Pam, I know for a fact that you spent last week writing content for your website, because you went through the entire moving your website from one host to a new host, and then redesigning the website and rebuilding it from scratch. I mean, in a way, thank God you didn't have too much pages in the old website. So give us a little bit tell us your experience, and then we can ask David here to give you some tips, some strategies and ideas of how you can use keyword research to help you in your content writing, task right now.
Okay. I started out with GoDaddy, and that was my horror story. I switched over to HostGator about 2 weeks ago now. And like Amel said, I started from scratch. Well, for me, my challenge was when it came time to get the site ready, SEO ready. And there's this indicator on the on the page that tells you whether or not it's ready or not, right? I kept watching those buttons as I wrote my content, and I kept tweaking it, but it worked out. All of them that I've done so far got green light, and I was quite satisfied. But it was a challenge. I had to tweak a couple of them quite a bit in order to get where I wanted them to. If you'd like, you can go over and look at the site. I'll put it in the chat line so that you can all have a look at it. I don't mind.
It's live right now?
Yep.
Okay, so we can review your site quickly and see where you are at right now, and maybe give you some tips. In terms of content, maybe if what you can do, David, you can open in a new window, you can open Pam's website and maybe take a quick look at her content, and if you can give her some tips and ideas, that would be really good.
Okay. So where's the?
So if you look at the chat area on your right side, there you can see her.
Oh, of course.
You are just click there, and it's gonna open a new window for you.
I had to scroll up, and it was. There we go. Let's pull that out of the way, and there you are.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. It's live. Open.
What
Things I still haven't done.
What made you start from scratch again?
The website builder with GoDaddy was not transferable. There was no way I could. I had no access to a cPanel. It was just the website builder. I couldn't do anything within it. And I knew I was expanding, and there was things that I wanted to do that was just not possible there.
Sure.
It was old.
So this is a WordPress site on HostGator, did you say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that WordPress.com you're using?
No. I think it's WordPress.org.
WordPress.org, okay.
Yeah. So, let me have a look.
I did have a blog on WordPress.com, but I'm putting that down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because with WordPress.org, you have the Genesis frame, which is mobile friendly. So, like with WordPress.com, it doesn't have that feature.
Right.
Yeah, there's there are lots of themes that are mobile friendly. I'm looking at this on iMac at the moment, so I can't tell whether this is mobile friendly or not. But yeah, just having a quick look.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you some time to look at the content, because I know that it may take some time to review that, David.
Okay.
So in the meantime, just from a marketing point of view, Pam, it's cool. I saw the pop-up with subscribe to your newsletter thing. This is good. I'm gonna give you some props for that, because it's really important to start start your website right from the beginning by having a kind of a lead capture form. So you're offering something for free in exchange for the user's email and email and name. So that's a good point for you. The only thing is they have to scroll down a little bit, like they scroll down a lot to start seeing the site itself. So if you can find a way to move that rectangle, the Au Natural Aromatherapy, if you can move it to another place, it would be better, so that we can see the banner as soon as we land on the page. That's better. It helps with the conversion and helps with connecting with your users, because you have your picture on the left side, which is really cool. So we lost David. I hope he will know how to come back.
I'm still here.
Oh,
we just can't
see you. That's strange.
Yes, it is.
So Pamela, I like how you have the imagery in your website. So you might want to consider putting a video in there as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, because that would just, with a video that tells everyone who you are and what you're about.
Okay.
So it's more personal that way. I prefer a video on my website.
David, if you listen, can you please refresh, because we can't see you. We can hear you, but we can't see you. So just refresh. Yeah. All right. Cool. Here we go.
I'm back. Not sure what happened there.
Welcome back.
Lose connection totally. Yes. Sorry. What was I saying? I was, yes, we were talking about key phrase research. So yes, I think obviously at the moment the site doesn't have very much content.
No, it
and
doesn't.
you threw, for whatever reason, you had content on your other site, and you've decided that's or your previous site, and that's not. You've decided that that's not appropriate, and you're not going to put it on here. You're going to start from scratch. So I can.
Yeah. So you might want to build up your service page also.
Build up
your service page.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am working on it.
Okay, so
yes, sorry.
David. Okay, so she's starting from scratch, but she didn't have too much content anyway before she made all the big change to move to a new host. So, all right, we're SEO specialists, we're SEO experts. We know how to do keyword research. We dream, breathe, eat keyword research all the time. So I'm trying to simplify for people who are listening to us who may not they don't have that SEO crazy.
Yeah.
And they're not too geeky about it. So how can they start doing keyword research the right way? So, like taking Pam example, how she would do it? Like, what's the first few steps?
Well, I can take Pam through the process that I would use. I think there's two ways of going about key phrase research. There's loads and loads of different tools. And I'm not going to attempt to go through all of them. I'll talk about what I use and, if necessary, why I use them. But you can look for what people are actually searching on, and you can go a bit further and actually find out where the niches are. In other words, where you might be able to rank easier than somewhere than with another key phrase. So what I always say is start off by thinking about what people actually or what you think people would actually put into the search engine to find your site. Don't try and sorry. Yeah,
I would say aromatherapy, but I'm finding that some people say if you go after the words that are most popular, that's where your competition is at.
Yeah, I think that one thing that you need to think about is that one word keywords, one word key phrases. I know a phrase is not one word, but you're not going to rank for that. That's just too general. You need to think. You've got other things here, which you've got natural aromatherapy. So you've also got holistic health here. So think about 2 or 3 word phrases that you would want people to type in, or at least you would expect them to type in to find a site like yours. And you can look at this from several angles. One of them is that this is a site about aromatherapy, wellness and relaxation here. So there's a sort of general, this is what it's about, key phrases. And there's also, you've got your store, in other words, what you're trying to sell off it in terms of product, and you've got your services as well. Now, your services, I suspect, might be more local to you in, did you say the Bahamas you are?
Yes, it is, but it's open to consulting all over the world.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not going to worry too much about localizing your SEO. You're not going to be looking for Bahamas type searches, and you won't be looking for the local SEO part of the Google page, if you like, when people search. So think about, I think a good place to start is between 10 and 20 key phrases that apply to your overall site, your store, and your services.
Okay.
Don't worry too much about them being too specific, but so think about 2 to 3 word phrases, and then you've got to go and find whether people are actually searching on them. And there are several places you can go for that. Traditionally, the Google the Google key phrase tool, which like most Google tools has changed its name quite regularly, but it's now embedded in AdWords anyway, so you need an AdWords account to use it.
Yes, I got one.
Good. So you can use that. There are other places that are equally interesting, shall we say. There's a tool called keywordtool.io, which I find very, very useful. It does a lot of it gives you a lot of semantically related key phrases. And now that Google is going more down the semantic route with its algorithm and its results, that gives you some interesting alternative key phrases. Now, there are two. There's a free version and a paid for version, like most tools. The free version gives you fewer results, and it doesn't give you search numbers. But you can get search numbers by plugging the key phrases you get out of keywordtool.io into the Google tool, and that will give you the numbers of searches. So what I do is I take that list either from keywordtool.io or from Google, or there's ubersuggest.org. I think it is ubersuggest anyway. If you search that, I don't like that as much as keywordtool.io. A lot of people say use ubersuggest. I think it's just got a bigger presence in the marketplace, has a bigger amount of awareness, but I don't think it's for my use, I don't like it as much. So take that, take those results. Do this plug in each of your key phrases into those tools, and take out however many, hopefully hundreds of potential key phrases from the tools. You can download them as a CSV file, and then I just plug them into Google Sheets. And you can then start saying, okay, let's sort them. Very popular ones at the top. In other words, big numbers of searches, and those with no searches at all at the bottom, and go through them. See if they make sense to you.
All right, I will. David, Chase is asking you to check your Twitter. He sent you a note.
Oh.
Well, Pamela, there's also a plugin called SEO Yoast. I'm not sure if you're using that.
I have it, yes.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with it.
I love it. It's great.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the tools that I have at my disposal.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. No, I like Yoast, and I use it on my site, but I don't use it for keyword research. I like to have a strategy in place, but Yoast is very good for making sure that your content is SEO friendly, if you like, search engine friendly.
Yes, that's what I was using.
Yeah. I guess you were, because you said that you got the green light as you were writing.
Green is good, red is bad.
All right, so we have a question here for you, David. Is content still king? I like this question.
Is content still king? Content is still king, but that's one of these things that I have a very particular view on. A lot of people says, Graham, hello Graham. I know Graham very well. Yes. Content is king, provided that you have a strategy behind it and you know why you're generating content. If you just generate content that you think your potential customers might like, then you won't get. I don't think you'll get anywhere. Well, you may do. It may be just luck, but you need to know where you need to know where you're going. If you're wandering around the wilderness, you might find something you want. But if you don't, if you have a direction, you'll get to where you want to go to.
Okay, that's good.
More coffee.
Content is king. I always think about evergreen content.
You think what? Sorry. I said that
when I hear that content is king, I always think of evergreen content.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, the like you said, David, which is really, really important, and a lot of people don't, like, a lot of website owners don't think about it. Each content you create has to have a specific goal. Don't just create content for the sake of creating content. Just don't create content because you see all other bloggers creating content. Have a plan, have a strategy, and have a goal for each page you create. What is this page is going to do for your readers? How they're going to benefit from the content they're going to read? It's really important. And also, what's most important, what action do you want them to complete after they finish reading your content? So it's really important to remember that. So keyword research is very important, but having a goal for your content and your each pages on your website is even more. I'd say that's the king thing about the content creation.
No.
So yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that, David.
I gotta agree with you, because after I went live with the site, it's been a week. As you know, last Friday I hadn't made it live yet, but nobody opted in. So I knew something was wrong. So now I'm reevaluating what I've done, and hopefully I'll get some results within this week.
It's a long haul. Content is a long haul, and you'll need to get a fair amount of content up in there, up on there. I don't know what aromatherapy key phrases are like in terms of competition, and the fact that you're not saying aromatherapy in the Bahamas, you're up against every English-speaking or every aromatherapy site in English, in effect. So you need to be very clear about where your niche is, and you've got to really be very clear about where you have an opportunity, where you have strengths, and you need to concentrate your content writing around that very narrow focus, or else you're going to be up against all the aromatherapy brands and all the cosmetic brands and the supermarkets and you name it. So I think that what I've said so far on terms of key phrase research, which I'd like to get back to, because it sounds as if you need to go the next stage. Let's go back to where we were, which was that you've got this in a spreadsheet. What I generally do is I have a tab for each seed key phrase, each of those 10 or 20 key phrases that you started off with. And you might find as you do the key phrase, as you do that first stage of key phrase research, other phrases come up and you think, oh, wow, that's important. So take that out and put it through the tool again. Have a look at key phrases that you think that actually makes a lot of sense to me. That's what I do, and I forgot that when I started. So go ahead and go back on yourself and do that bit of research and look at what's popular and what isn't. But what you don't know at the moment is whether you've got any chance of getting ranked, and by that I mean getting on the first page of Google. I know that we talk a lot about how positions are no longer relevant, and we look for an amount of traffic rather than positions. You still have got to give yourself that as a goal when you're researching things. I think that if you say, whatever it might be, natural aromatherapy, it's got hundreds of thousands of searches on Google.com, and it's really good. I'd like to get back to my website. Now I know that I'm not going to rank on the first page of it. I'm quite happy with page 5. Well, you'll probably get about 2 of that hundreds of thousands of searches coming to your site. So really, you whether position in search engines is as big a thing as it used to be or not. At this stage, it's still important to us. So what we need to know, or what you need to know, is these key phrases that you've picked out. Are you going to be able to rank for them? And my advice is to go and get yourself a SEMrush account, semrush.com, and I must own up that I get a free consultant account, guru account they call it, from them, but. So you can take my advice whichever way you wish, but I use it all the time. And there's a tool in there that gives you a very good view of how competitive a key phrase is. So So you can take the key phrases that you're interested in, whack them through the SEMrush tool, and it will give you a number. And when I first got the SEMrush account, I actually looked at whether this number was meaningful or not. And I went through quite a number of searches looking for the number, what the number actually meant in terms of why these sites were listed where they were. And I'm quite happy with the number this number that SEMrush gives. It's a very good it's a very good guide to how competitive a keyword is.
Yes, Amel speaks very highly of them.
Sorry?
Amel speaks very highly of them.
Yes. Yes. Well, it was SEMrush chat that.
Yeah, I'm always there on Wednesday with David. Actually.
Yes.
That's where we met.
Indeed. Yes.
Great.
So go get yourself a SEMrush account, or get yourself a SEMrush account and put the key phrases you're interested in through the tool, and then you can make a decision about where the easy ones are. Go for the easy ones with a reasonable number of searches.
All right.
Write those first to get your site moving, get your site showing on the on Google for certain key phrases, and then take a kind of medium term view. Look at those that you really want a bit more but are a bit tougher, and then tackle those. And that as you work through, as you add more and more content, you'll find what works and what doesn't work, and you might want to go back and rewrite some content to make it a little bit more focused on that key phrase, or you might find yourself ranking really well on a particular key phrase, and you can go back into your key phrase research and see related phrases. So you can start getting. This is where the traffic from the site, from search, rather than the position for search.
Oh, great advice. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Do you have?
I hope that was clear.
She's actually taking notes.
Sorry.
I am. I usually do.
That was a half-day seminar.
Exactly.
I appreciate that. There's nowhere else I could go on a Friday night and get
David, you went into a lot of details there, which is great. We really thank you for that. So from let's say from a creative side, I know it seems bizarre to say keyword research, SEO, and then talk about creativity, but we have to have both. Because SEO is fun. I don't know why people think SEO is I don't know, boring or so technical or so crazy, but I find it fun.
It's never
so
funny.
So David, what do you have like tips or advice to make this challenging tasks a little bit fun and help keyword research, make keyword research creative, make it really like interesting and like it's easy in a way?
Well, it's funny. I think that the process is easy. It's a load of small steps, and from that point of view, once you've worked out how to use the tools, and that might take you half an hour or so, perhaps a few goes at it. But once you got it, but right as you start doing the process, write it down as a workflow, so you take out the difficulties of it. Now, I think, and this might be just me as a rather sick man from the UK, I find key phrase research really fascinating because it tells me so much about my readers or my clients' readers. it gives me a whole insight into what's going on out there. What are people likely to buy off me? What do they actually want to read about? And it helps me find out about people. That's fascinating. And there are always surprises. Once you stuck all this stuff into your spreadsheet and you sorted it and you start going down the column looking for stuff, and you think, oh wow, I hadn't thought about that, or that's a product or a service I could offer. It really does give you an insight into your business, where it is at the moment, how it relates to your customers, where the opportunities are, what you can do to develop your business. There's all sorts of stuff in there. If you say to yourself, or if you don't say to yourself, this is a load of numbers, don't like numbers.
All right, that's good. All right, so let me ask you not a technical question here, but it's an important question. And I know that keyword research it's really an analytic process, or I mean, in a way, because that's how I go through it myself. Once I put all my keyword in an Excel sheet, I actually each keyword. And here's what I do, and maybe David and Walter, you can actually give me the way you do it yourself when you're analyzing the keywords. And I'm analyzing in a way where, okay, I want to write a content. I've done my keyword research. I have my list of 10, 20 keywords. Now, how do I choose my keyword to write for? Okay, so my personal process is to go through each keyword and ask the question, what's the intent? What really they have in mind entering this question or this sentence or this keyword or phrase? And then from there, I ask the second question, which is, can I write for it? Can I put this keyword in a sentence, in a paragraph? And then I put through the list, and then I start, the keywords were really difficult to put in a sentence. I just, I don't write for them. I just move to the second one. So what's your process, David? And then maybe Walter, you can give us your process if you want to share with us. Thank you.
Yeah, it depends whether I'm writing, I guess, for a blog or for static pages on a site or product pages. The static pages or product pages will tend to dictate. They tend to be, there's a page and it needs some content for it. So that's a case of going through the research and finding some keywords that will match that page that needs to be written. So that's one way about it. And the other way is I've got to write some content, and it's got to be appropriate, and it's got to be engaging, and it's got to work. It's got to be something that I can write around well. And it might even go into considerations like how much research do I need to do on it, and is that going to take a bit of time, and is that going to stop me getting my post out for tomorrow, which is when I'm trying to get my post out for. So there are all sorts of variables. But yes, is it English? Is a very good one, as Emil was saying. It's that there are things. What I find is I quite often find something like aromatherapy UK comes up in key phrases. And you just don't want that. That's not something that you'll be able to write very well around, because it's going to make the copy really stilted. So I just chuck all those away to begin with.
Well, I did two things. I saw that there were a lot in the UK and the US, and I tailored my searches for the US. So my content was written with the US in mind, but then I also have the intent of doing something for that market as well, because aromatherapy is aromatherapy. It came from the UK to the US.
Yeah. Now, yes, if you really want to get deeply into numbers, then you can think, okay, which markets am I aiming at? You've got US, Google.com data, UK, Google.co.uk, and you might want to say Canada and Australia and South Africa. And then if you look at some of the major European markets, they've got an English, say in Germany, there's a German Google and there's an English Google as well. So, you can do all this if you want to, but what I should have said right at the beginning was, until you've done a lot of content, just do google.com. That's the biggest market. And unless you really, really want to get deeply into number crunching, I wouldn't bother with any of the other English-speaking markets.
All right. Thank you so much for that.
Did I answer the question?
I think you did, David. Walter, do you want to add something to help with that?
Yeah, pretty much what Dave was saying. Your keyword search has to be relevant to your content. So, yeah.
Cool. My question for you, before we leave, Pam, because I know this is an important one, actually, and it will help you, Pam, figure out new content strategies, new ideas, and it will help your creativity side. So when you research, the first, not the first thing we do, but one of the things and tasks that we have to do is to do competitive research. And what I like to call ethically spying on the competition. So you know what I mean? We're not copying, but we're getting inspired by them because they did all the work for us.
Mel, you're giving away the secrets. I did that.
Oh, you did that. That's good. That's good.
I looked at my UK, my Australia, my Canada competition, and my US competition, and I saw what they were doing, right? But I didn't implement all of them yet. There are some strategies that I really like that I'm going to go after. And there are some that I've said I'm going to stay far away from because I'm not sure that's going to work for me. But for the most part, I'm going to implement some of the things that I did find. I did do a spreadsheet. I have my list by country, and I noted some of the things that they were doing. One of them that everybody's doing is your landing page or your lead page and the offer and what have you, right? Some of them are focusing strictly on courses. And I'm not sure I want to be just a base for courses. I want to help people. I want to share. I want to tell them about my experience. The reason I started out with consultation is to help people. To help them to relax, to revive themselves after stressful days or a stressful week, to give them simple alternatives instead of running to the doctor for a quick fix pill that could cost them $90 per pill. Whereas you can put these aromatherapy diffusers in your house and it changes your mood instantly. You walk in the house, it's a whole different atmosphere from that stressful office that you just left. In addition to that, pain relief. There are persons who suffer out there with chronic pain. I want to take it from a health perspective. There are persons who, every time they get a pain or look what happened to me. I fell down on January 2nd. I bruised my knee to the point of turning blue. What did I do? I came home. I got an ice pack. I made myself a blend of essential oils. I've been treating myself for 3 days like that. The swelling went down. But then a few of my friends were in my ear and they were saying well, did you go to the doctor? Did you have an x-ray? I don't think I need one. I know it's a bruise. It's not broken. If it was broken, I would not be walking on it, right? So I went to the doctor just to satisfy them. And what did they say? It's a bruise. Just rub it down, ice pack. And I said, okay, thank you. But then when I got home, I had my solution for bruises. So it's been 2 weeks now. The only sensitive part on of my knee and the shin of my leg is just the top of it. But the essential oils work. Topically, they work great. So I want to get that out there, that there's some things you could save money on. There's the cost. There's the fact that these things you have right in your home in the event of. They're very preventative. It's cold and flu season. Why run to the doctor for a flu shot when you have eucalyptus and peppermint in your house? Hello? Please forgive me.
I see you have a lot of passion in there. That's okay. But what I need David to give us some tips quickly about actually ethically spying on your competition's keywords, so that you will create content that ranks on the first page of Google like they have their content ranking. So, because I know that you did a lot of competitive research in terms of the type of product they have, the type of design they have, and all this, which is cool, which is good. But I'm talking more about, okay, how can we outrank them? How can we really, ethically spy on their keyword? Go ahead, David. Share a little bit of your knowledge.
Well, there's the tool way, which is to use the aforementioned SEMrush, and that gives you a nice list of key phrases that competitors are ranking for, and that's where I would go. From there, I would then go and actually have a look at the page that's ranking, and from there, well, I think the first measure is how much copy is there, and is it any good? If you're trying to rank a 200-word blog post against a 2,500-word authority post, you're going to have to really work very, very hard on other factors. Yeah. So just looking at the pages of ranking will give you an idea of what you're up against. You can then look at things like links, external links from other sites. Again, there's something in SEMrush. There's also Open Site Explorer, which is part of the Moz set of tools. And Open Site Explorer is a standalone that'll allow you to look at incoming links. You then get into questions of what are the quality of those links? Yeah. Are they from a site that's worthwhile? Are they from some grotty old blogger blog that hasn't really got any anything of value on it? Is it an old an old directory site, or is it the BBC or the New York Times? How many of those sites? How many of those kind of links from those kind of sites? You can start looking at internal linking on the site. There's all sorts of things if you want to really burrow down. As I say, I tend to, in the first place, just look at these competition numbers, the keyword difficulty numbers that comes out of SEMrush. That will get you going. And then you can start thinking about, well, am I going to, I've got onto the third page, why aren't I any further? Well, then look at the competition. Do you need to write some more about it? Does it have to be better quality? What kind of links do they have? Or else what you can get sucked into a spiral of research, and not actually getting anything up there on the site. True. So I tend to get going and then see what happens. What kind of results am I getting, and why am I getting them? Rather than do too much. The other thing is, some clients want a lot of competitor research as opposed to competitive research. In other words, research on the competitors. They want a list of the top 10 for every key phrase that we're recommending to them, and so on and so forth. And, you know, if they want to pay for all that detail, fine. But, you know, I think that's something down the road rather than a first stage.
That's true. Like focusing on like a small batch of keywords at a time, and like creating content for these keywords, and then move on to another list of keywords. That's the best actually strategy to handle keyword in all our tasks. So my follow-up question for this, David, is, okay, let's say I have my small list of keywords that I want to rank for, create content for. I'm ready, I have everything. For how should I write the content for? For how long should I focus on these specific keywords to see kind of a result, at least something in return? I know you can't answer it clearly, but that's fine.
Yeah, I'll get my piece of string out. It's difficult, particularly if you've got a new site, because you have to wait until the Google Spider comes round, Google Bots comes round, and spiders your content, and it may take some time if you're a new site. And if basically once Google knows you're there and Google sees that you're putting content on it fairly regularly, Google Bots should come around more often. But if you're, if you're having to wait 2 or 3 weeks or something because you've been sitting there with nothing on the site for months and Google's just forgot about you, you might find it takes some time before anything happens. And until you're spidered, until your content is spidered, nothing will happen. So what I say is just start getting some content up there. Get it, do it as well as you can, but also don't really sweat at it at the moment. I would say get pretty good content up there and get some volume up there. Then go back and start saying, okay, I want to improve that. I want to improve that. The other thing is we talked about a bunch of key phrases that we target, and the ones I say when clients say, well, what do we do first? I always say, well, where do you expect to get the money from? That's, is that the area where your business is, or where the biggest margins are on the products?
Okay.
So basically what you're saying, as long as you have quality content, good SEO, and proper keywords, that contributes to your ranking.
David?
Sorry,
in which case I didn't hear Walter properly.
Sorry. No, I said as long as you have quality content, good SEO, and proper keywords, it all contributes to your ranking.
Oh, it does. Yes. Yeah.
What is your opinion on recycling content?
That's really a great strategy to do, because you don't have to recreate the content from scratch every time. You just take the content you have. Let's say it's a text type of content, and you just recycle it to audio, or maybe you can create a PowerPoint presentation and make a video talking and filming your presentation, or you can actually take that and create a podcast from that simple article that you just created. You can turn that article into maybe a checklist. Take out the main points from the content and create a checklist. I mean, it's really the best way to do it, is to recycle your content, so you don't get into that what do they call it, the blank page, block writer or something.
Yes, ma'am, I heard that.
Yeah, so thank you very much. I think we're up in terms of timing and stuff like that. So thank you very much, David. Thank you, Walter. I'm looking at the chat area. I don't see any questions for
there's one comment there.
Yeah.
You can even just change it. You can even just change its image and share it again as is. So that's more to evergreen content.
Yes, that's true. You can actually create an infographic from your article.
Yeah.
I mean, the sky is the limit. It's yeah, that's the cool thing about it. Once you have the content, I mean, what you can do with that, it's really like, as I said, the sky is the limit. You can turn that content into crazy stuff. So like David's and what we're talking about, it's the most important thing is just do your keyword research, pick your first 10 or 20 keywords, and just start writing content. Try to make the best quality content possible, publish the content, and obviously there is more to it in terms of getting the bots, the Google bots come and crawl your site and find these pages and index them, but we can do another complete specific blab for that. But the main summary of all this blab is really for you to just do it. Content, create the best quality possible, start publishing the content. Then once you have 10 or 20, start recycling the one that you had. Like you said, Pam, how can I repurpose content? As he explained, you can turn it into a PDF, and you can take maybe the best 3 articles from your blog and create an ebook from them, or like turn it into a PDF and offer that as a lead capture offer in your website. You can make a checklist, you make it like crazy, turn it into video, into audio, and the sky is the limit. So
great ideas. Yes. Thank you all. I really appreciate that. It's been another wonderful Friday night. David and Walter, I couldn't ask for this advice from anybody else without writing a check.
Yeah, these advice are worth thousands and thousands of dollars. Believe me, I know. I'm an SEO consultant, and Walter is, and David is, and we charge. We know that we charge our clients a lot of money to give them these kind of advice and these strategies, and we're giving them to you, Pam, to you who are listening to us, because we really value our community. We want to help as much as we can. We can, give back, and this is how we want to do it. And we thank you for support, coming back every Friday to listen to this show. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your time. And David, we appreciate that you joined us from the UK. I know that the time craziness, it's more than, I don't know what time right now, maybe it's 1 a.m. So
1 a.m.
Yeah, so thank you very much for that.
We're all invited over to.
Well, I can finish this now. I've had my coffee.
I've got my coffee right here.
Yeah, I have my water. So.
I like David's coffee too. It's a wine.
So anyway, thank you guys. Thank you for all all the expert advice you're giving to us and to everyone who's listening. And you can come back anytime, David. You're welcome. Walter, you're welcome to come back anytime. Join our seat. If you have more expertise to share, more advice, feel free to DM me, contact me on Twitter. Please follow us, follow our guest on Twitter, follow them on Blab, follow me and Pam also, so that you can get the notification when we schedule our future Blabs. Next week I have also another special guest, and next week we're going to talk about reputation management, which is very important. And since we're doing online, we're doing social media, we have a website, managing our reputation online is crucial and important. So I'm going to have a guest to talk about that and give us some tips and advice about online reputation management. So again, thank you everybody for listening. Please support us by tweeting about this Blab, by inviting your community every Friday, by coming back and giving from your time to support us. We really appreciate that. We are going to give you the links to our website so you can check them, and you can actually follow us on Twitter and DM us when we follow you back. So again, thank you very much, and I'll see you next week.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.